And just like that, after many years of being, after many years of signing on to the Fire Pro Arena or Fire Pro Club, after many years, you made me understand how logic works. That's all I ever wanted with this game, is someone teach me how the fuck logic works, and you did it within a few minutes. Sir, I applaud you for teaching an old guy like me how to fucking do logic. Thank you. If I wasn't so tired, I would fire up Fire Pro and just work over my sewer edits and keep them. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
Last month in April, we lost one of the pillars of the Fire Pro community. We lost someone who was so important to not only the Fire Pro community, but to a lot of people on a personal level. We lost someone who is a guy that I'm not a very social person, and I don't talk to a whole lot of people. But Cease was a guy who made me feel comfortable, who not only made me feel comfortable when I came to the Fire Pro Club, but also when we talked. He was just so warm, and I know it wasn't perfect, nobody is, but he was probably the closest to the perfect person I imagined my best friend being. He was so nice, kind, generous. He would always compliment anyone on, whatever they were working on creatively. When I first talked to Cease, it was on a very impersonal level. I believe the first time I talked to him was, through messaging, was about E3, my wrestling fed here. And first thing he ever said to me was, it was a compliment for E3. And he wanted to save, and this was back in 2012. And from there, our relationship really grew into a creative friendship, bouncing ideas off of each other, showing each other what we were working on, and getting each other's opinions, whether it was good or whether it needed a little work. And there was hardly ever, and I can't even think of anything. There was no negativity in it all, which is very rare. When I work with somebody, there's always something there. There's always this negative vibe that creeps in some form or fashion. And I've worked with a couple of people from the Fire Pro community, and I've never had a bad experience. But working with Cease was a rewarding experience, unlike anything else I'd ever experienced. He knew how to put something out there and take criticism on it, go back to the drawing board, and come back with it better than ever. And that was one of the many strengths of my friend Cease. And likewise, his willingness to work with you was so uplifting. It was, you would want to get stuff done when you were working with Cease, because it was like, okay, here's an idea. Yeah, here's what I think about that idea. Here's what I think about that idea. Great, let's try to make it better. Come back with it. Man, that's way better than it was before. And here's how we can make it even better. And things just kept building and building, and you always wanted to continue to improve with him. He was just the best in that way. But that's not the only way that I knew Cease. We bonded through our gaming. And the first time I ever played games with him was Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3, and it was online, and I hardly ever play online. I don't like online because I don't like a lot of the people online, but Cease made it fun to play online. And, you know, it would be about five of us or so, maybe 4 of us playing at one time. And then people started losing interest, and then it dwindled down to myself and him most of the time. There were sometimes Kramer would come in, and it would basically be just the 2 of us, and we would just mess around. For the most part, we weren't even doing anything productive in the game. We were just, you know, just conversing about a multitude of different things. He told me about his story, about how he went out to Utah, and how, you know, it just, the air there just didn't agree with him. And that was one of the first times that, you know, I really got concerned for him, which is weird because I don't really do that for people at that length. And I grew an attachment to him that I never shook. And didn't want to shake, for that matter. With Cease, it got to the point where I knew he was in rough shape, and you know, I kind of always figured that, but you know, as I got to know him more and more, I knew that like something needed to happen. I always wanted him to come out to California and move in with me, and I would help him out, and we would, you know, get back on the right track. And it could have never happened. You know, his family being there, and it's tough for me because I wanted to help him more than I ever wanted to help anybody outside of my family before. And why did I want to help him so bad? It's because he wanted to help everybody else. He was someone who, no doubt about it, wanted everybody to be the best that they could be. And I wanted him to be the best that he could be. I wanted him to be around for a long time, and I wanted him to I wanted to work with him on a Fire Pro side, but I also I loved his spirit, just being there. Even if it's on social media, just him being there, it was really important. And now that he's gone and he's not there anymore, and I don't see the posts, and I don't see the likes, and I don't see, you know, I used to stream. I don't stream anymore really, but when I would stream, he would be one of the only people who would hop on. And I am one of the more boring guys in the world, and I'm a terrible streamer, and it didn't matter. He would hop on because he was my friend, and he was interested in just talking with me about games. And those are the moments that I'll miss the most. Just playing a game on Twitch and having him show up, and me typing, you know, Cease in all caps in the chat, and him typing Lex in all caps in the chat. And there's a train going by, so excuse me, but it's tough. It's tough to know that he's gone. It's tough to do a show like this, because you never hope to do a show like this, because it means that someone that you really cared for is no longer there. But at the same time, doing the show is so important to me because this is the way I connected with Cease. It's not the only way we connected, but it was the way that we connected. E3 was the thing that got us talking. This is not so much a tribute to Cease's edit in the Fire Pro Person Pack, because honestly, I wasn't involved in that so much, and I really didn't know the edit too well. I knew enough because everybody would always, talk about the edit. But this is more about the person. This is about Julius. This is about Cease. This is about me connecting with him more than I've connected with almost anybody on the internet. And a proof that just because you've never met in person doesn't mean you can't care about somebody. And this isn't enough. It really isn't, but this is the best way I could think to honor him. And I want to thank everybody who wanted to be a part of this, and I want to thank everybody who understood what this was. This is about the man himself. This is about Cease. Cease, we miss you so much. I wish so much that we could have you back. One day we'll see each other again, somehow, some way. But until then, we got to keep the Fire Pro spirit alive, because we're Fire Pro brethren. And I hope you enjoy the show.